Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BARCastTV. It is December 21st, 2024. We're getting so close to the end of the year. We've brought you another 5v5 here, played on a map I don't know the name of. Kolmogrov remake? Okay. But it's going to be another 5v5, yet again taken from the Bar exclusive Discord, right? So we've got Red versus Blue, Autopilot versus Raigeki's team, which seems pretty stacked. Both teams seem pretty stacked, right? But yeah, let's skip all this nonsense, clean up these lines, and get right into the game, right? So this is a pretty interesting start, and I really like to see this actually. So the blue team's foregoing spawning on like the natural spawns you might see, and just immediately went straight to front. But Autopilot team did the same thing. So we have Praetor in the front here. Alzared, Raigeki, and Pyrotech all spawning 3 front here, trying to get up this super forward lab. And we have Blodier and Happiness in the back line macroing. So meanwhile, on the left side of the map, we have Hexu, Lewis B, and Autopilot in the back line with Zek here in a more kind of natural spawning position. So this is pretty interesting. I actually really personally like these kinds of plays, right? Super aggressive. It seems like blue team actually is kind of low on energy at the moment on a 25 wind speed map, which you really wouldn't want to see. I'm wondering if, see, Happiness is only making wins, right? Okay, so that's a good fix for now. Alzared pushing up to the high ground, trying to take the position away from Praetor, and this is really nice positioning here. There's a thug on the left side even here, kind of picking away at these LLTs. Even Rocketbot's coming out of this forward bot lab, so really quick pressure here. That's going to force Praetor back up to this high ground hill. I mean, they've only really won one mechs, and they are like missing like at least six mexes that should be capped, right? So you have to be really decisive with these kinds of plays, because as we can see from the metal income, right, 31 to 22 here in the top right. So they're definitely behind on resources, right? Metal produced, yeah, it's definitely in favor of the red team. So this is where you got to force commander trades, right? And follow it up with another one. But Raigeki seems a little bit out of position here. Red's gonna come in. He's gonna de-gun the lab from Zek. There's 2 thugs out, which is great to micro against these kind of commander. And that's gonna force Red back, right? Took out the lab, took out a couple of wins. That's really nice, honestly, because that's a couple of thousand metal difference, right? What is that? How much are? Excuse me, 650 metal for the bot lab. So kind of evening up that metal differential here. Meanwhile, on the kind of backline here, Lewis B just making wins, staying on that bot lab. Autopilot trying to get his first comm turret up, and Blodier building a healthy energy economy as well. So really nice to have these commanders in the main bases actually using their build power for economy and, I guess, units out of your lab. These commanders can use their build power trying to, you know, take initiative away from the red team. Aurazed, you retreated the wrong way, my friend. You were supposed to go back towards your teammates there. Looks like he's actually in for a little surprise here, because pawns wreck commanders if they're not microed. 1 D-gun goes off, misses. Second one grabs a pawn, but yeah, 4 pawns are just going to clean this commander right up. And that's another 1,200 metal going towards the red team, right? So already up 2,000 metal here. 2 grunts in the backline somehow found a con. That's not good. They have no... Ooh, excuse me, I'm trying to rotate the camera here. Zoom out so we can take a look at this map. Take a sip of water. Pyrotech still hasn't gone down, and he has 5 thugs in mid here, really harassing these positions. So somehow he's in between Praetor and Raigeki, right? Oh, excuse me, he's on the blue team. Alright, that makes sense, but Zek's able to remake his lab. Okay. That's gonna help for a moment. Autopilot just now turned some thugs on. I'm sure he's going to repeat that command and bringing his commander forward. So really the red team just has to last a few more seconds here. And I think they're going to be in a good spot to kind of recover from this, despite their like losing that initial factory, right? The only problem here is on the left side of the map, we have some grunts sneaking in against rocket bots, so they're going to get on top of these units, and this is exactly what you want. Trade out for these higher metal units with those low-cost grunts. Thug versus thug here on the front line. Both teams really trying to like stabilize this position here. It's kind of hard to read for a moment there. But yeah, Pyrotech's still on the high ground. Raigeki's got a con turret up, a couple of cons, and is moving his commander forward, right? So that's just going to add more pressure to that. Meanwhile, on right mid, Lewis B and Blowdeer, classic bar commander lane action, just making LLTs. I'm sure we might see some rocket bots there in a moment. Hexu finally walking out of the main base, but this is a little dicey here. Actually, I don't think he could use some more build power on that lab this far into the game. In mid here, Pyrotech stepping forward. Is he going to go for another lab snipe? He gets it, right? Goes for the self-control B. Okay, so he gets a lot of the army there, but it does donate another wreck. So another 1,200 metal going towards the red team, right? Raigeki's commander is right behind it with the units of his own. You gotta degun this. You gotta degun that 1,200 metal right there. You're never gonna be able to take that right, so. I see 3 commanders versus 1 now. I mean, that's a lot of repair. That's a lot of HP and degun potential, right? So I think this position is almost... Oh, yeah. He was going to go for the self-D there, but decides better of it and cancels that command and then backs up. Okay, so it's interesting. He's perfectly willing to take that trade here, right? So meanwhile, on Lewis B's lane here, you have Grunt versus Pawn, right? Which this can be hard to deal with against someone who has units that have Rangers. I missed this run by over here, actually. Hexu's base looks like it took a little bit of damage there. 3 of those mexes are done. Here we go, another grunt in the back line with 4 kills already, grabbing more mexes, right? So, and I see some res bots making their way to the field. So Blowdeer seems like he's kind of winning this lane. He's getting more quality units to the front line. His commander is kind of just chilling, repairing, making LLTs. Got grunts on the high ground, right? Meanwhile, in Raigeki's base, still have this contour. I think he's light on metal, right? He's just got the 2 nexes. Could use some metal sliders shared. That's, I think we see that from that team, but Happiness could stand to turn that one down a little bit more, I suppose. Yeah, and Lewis B is getting pushed off of this position, right? So Blowdeer kind of winning his lane. That's kind of expected, right? If I was to look at that matchup. Hexu here is gonna get surrounded from some grunts, but some nice D-guns. A couple of them missing, but definitely landing the ones he needs to. Oh my gosh, this commander's so... I think it's gonna go down, yeah. Oh my goodness, that was wild. And I guess that's 1,200 metal going towards the red team. We'll see. Happiness can maybe scoot down and grab that, but Praetor is like right there with 5 thugs, which is like the golden number, and somehow the pawn slipped past the grunts. This is not what you want. Units getting in the background here, so that's going to do a lot of damage. You got to like switch into like Shuri's here, right? Just to kind of clean those up, right? Because that is going to be so difficult to deal with. These pawns are going to get a lot of damage. Meanwhile, in mid, Zek, Autopilot, and a bunch of thugs are trying to secure these 3 mexes, right? I guess you don't need to take the hill, because I mean, it doesn't have mexes, but it's sure is annoying, right? Having units parked up there. But as long as you have the mexes taken, that's good, right? And then 3 commander wrecks right here. That's like 3,000 metal on the red team side of the map, right? Blowdeer and Pyrotech doing what they can to kind of win this lane versus Lewis B, who's making rocket bots of his own. He's got his own res bots, right? So he can stall for a little bit of time, but I'm super concerned. Yeah, here we go. Autopilot's already on top of it. Reclaiming this metal here. Hexu's got his build power back, and he's producing a lot of grunts here. That's what he needs for these res bots to do their thing, right? Start reclaiming, and just this big pack of grunts from Happiness is like the majority of the pressure here from the blue team on the left side of the map, right? Is this another commander that's going to go down? Are you kidding me? No. Okay, D-Gun's too good, and a bombing run. How did I miss this? Autopilot's already switched to T2 and air himself, so that was the first wave of bombs. Going towards mid. It gets a couple of the wins and some of the build power there, so that was a nice run, but this surely is the player you want to be targeting. This high-OS player in the back line, who surely has a ton of wins on a 25 win speed map, but I don't think the red team was able to scout this, so just kind of blindly bombing there, gets some of the wins. Oh my gosh, I'm missing all this stuff, right? Pawns in the back line doing a lot of damage here. This bombing run still getting value. Okay, getting on top of the build power, some of the energy converters. Mid seems stable, right? Hexu's broken into the back line, and Blowdeer and Lewis B still going at it here on front, but it's like Blowdeer's commander ended up going down there on that high ground. So it's 3-1, like his last comm for the red team? Blue team? Oh my, these bombers are missing a lot of shots, honestly. Could have gotten some of these wins, but yeah, Autopilot's going to come back. Target some of those units. Thug versus thugs on the high ground. Lewis B goes down. And Raigeki's the last comp for the blue team, right? So he's going to get... It's kind of scary, right? A bunch of bombers from getting your commander. He's going to get on top of that wreck. There's another one pretty close by. That seems pretty risky to go for. And these wrecks are still... Okay, we're even going for a little commander res. I'd like to see that. It's like the one way you lose, right? This position is getting that. Somehow Hexu's grunts found the back line. It's going to get cleaned up. Look at all these empty nexus here for the blue team. It's not what you want. Red's all capped up. Had 3 or 4 commander wrecks. What is this? Up like almost 10k middle there. And these T2 units are making their way to the front line. I actually kind of missed that, but yeah, Autopilot went for the T2 transition. He got a couple of these cons out, a couple of these twitchers, and this is pretty smart, right? You can just use the twitcher to make these fiends in your main base after you reclaim the lab. See that a lot from higher level players, and this seems like the last stand here. Raigeki's on the high ground. He's got his AA up. He's got a pack of thugs. Bombers do so much damage, really. Okay, so Blowdeer has some fighters of his own. This is going to help clear this up, but you know, I'm sure this commander would like to be repairing these units that are getting pretty low on health. All the bombers are going to get cleared up. Do you just like go for it, Isaac, and just walk into Raigeki here? Or is it the fiends that end this game? Blowdeer's tanks a little AFK there. The fiends getting on top of him. Yeah, and this is going to be it. This half-health commander. He's on the high ground. He's surrounded by units. And these pawns might actually get the last couple of shots here to get that nice flanking damage. This commander's going to go down and take the game. Okay, there it is. Yeah, GG's called. Really nice play there from the red team, kind of, despite having like 3 versus 1 in mid there. What could they have done differently? Because it was Zek here and then Praetor's right there, so maybe just immediately go for the comm trade here with 2 commanders and just make a lab with Raigeki. I mean, because if your shared wins, you can it's like a 1v1 like with these 2 positions, right? And then maybe it turns into a 2v1 because they end up killing Praetor, and then you just go for the comm walk into Zek's space, and then, you know, finally Raigeki would like follow it up. So maybe like this 1-2-3 punch of getting the comm wrecks for the blue team, right? Because they were never able to secure those despite having the tempo advantage. at one point. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. I know I'm going to be bringing a lot more of these high-level replays from the bar exclusive server because it's muy perfecto games, right? So hope you guys enjoy that. Anyways, see you in the next one. Cheers.